Hi, this is Clara. You're watching Books and Questions, and today I'm going to talk about what I read growing up. I'm responding to two sort of tags on this topic. One is The Poptimist. He did a tag called Reading Lives, and another is Rio Reads, who did one on favorite throwbacks. I'll link both of their videos down below, but I wanted to join in the conversation. Much like David did in his video, my parents were incredibly influential in terms of what I read and how I perceived reading growing up. My dad is an art professor and my mother is a musician, but very much an intellectual. My dad would never leave the house without a book, usually art history or collections of essays, possibly poetry, sometimes theology, mostly nonfiction, but occasionally a novel or two as well. My mother is involved in a very intense book club. They've read everything from James Joyce Ulysses to Peter Pan, pretty much every National Book Award winner in the last 30 years. I've visited the book club a couple times. It's like a gathering of matriarchs. They are amazing and brilliant, and it's pretty great. So I always saw her reading growing up, and I saw her preparing for book club. Like if she was leading a discussion on hard times in November, I would see her reading it multiple times over the summer to prepare. And I definitely saw that reading is something you do to learn and to study and dig deep. You wouldn't just read through it once and call that done. It was lovely to see my parents learning through the reading that they did. Another group of people that I should mention in my reading history are the Kennedys. It was a family of three girls, which were my adopted family growing up. I was as at home in their house as I was in my own, and the three girls were voracious readers, much better readers than I was as a small child. They definitely made me want to read for myself. I know the Kennedys, they were reading all sorts of things and very independently and really spurred me into reading. The Kennedys and I also participated very viscerally and very imaginatively with the books we read. So you'd be reading about Laura Ingalls Wilder, and we'd play games about us, like traveling in a wagon across the prairie. Read Redwall, and we'd make up exciting stories of being mice and making a fortress against the invading rats and all sorts of stuff. Like it was not just what we read, but how it fed our play, which I thought was really exciting and great to have friends to do that with. I was also homeschooled, so there's something about my reading that is sort of distinct to my family. In the curriculum we use, the Sunlight curriculum, there's a lot of reading in general, and through grade 7 there's read alouds as part of the program for what we do every week. But that was such an important part to my mother and to my brother and myself. We would get all of the housework done while we did the reading, so one of the three of us would read out loud, and the other two would do the ironing, or chop the vegetables for dinner, or fold the laundry, or dust, or tidy the room, or whatever. Like, just stuff that needed to get done around the house was tied with reading, and it was always the best part of the day, even though it was like mundane, sort of stupid tasks. Because we were reading out loud, it was like the highlight. So that was really great. And most people in the Sunlight curriculum do that through grade 7. We did it all the way through till I graduated, till I went to college. We would just choose one of the books we were just supposed to read on our own, and we would just read that one out loud. So we read Moby Dick out loud together. I was 14, I think, maybe 16. That was really important to me, and it's part of why I love audiobooks so much now. Even today, if I'm making a soup and have chopping to do, I'm like, where's my audiobook? What's going on? But what did I love? I loved E.B. White. I remember adoring The Trumpet of the Swan and weeping over Charlotte's Web. I loved the Chronicles of Narnia. There was a time when it wasn't summer vacation until I had read all 7. Year after year, I would do it. As soon as we finished in June, started on Narnia. Other things in fantasy, I mentioned Redwall, but I loved the Gerald Morris retelling of Arthurian legends. Those were wonderful and definitely got me into a kick for other sort of knights and hero stories. I loved Robin McKinley's fairy tale retellings, Beauty, Spindle's End, Rose Daughter. I'm sure there were more I read. I can't remember. The Prudian Chronicles by Lloyd Alexander. I still love rereading those, especially Taran Wanderer. I loved Madeleine L'Engle. I don't even know how many times I've read A Wrinkle in Time, but I also loved her Austen books and her A Ring of Endless Light, and just some beautiful stuff that she writes. Sharon Creech and E.L. Konigsberg, and especially Catherine Patterson. As I was a teenager, Jacob Have I Loved, all its angst and frustration really defined a lot of what I was feeling. When I was in high school, I also came across Shakespeare, and my life sort of changed forever. I was 12 and went to a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream in the park and just wanted to read Shakespeare after that. So that was very exciting for me. Another thing I was really interested in as a young person and never sort of stopped being interested in was children's literature. When I was in middle school, I think especially, I thought maybe I will become a children's book illustrator when I grow up. And so I developed a fascination with picture books. And I still love picture books. I haven't talked about them like at all on this channel. I think I mentioned once in like the villains tag. But I love picture books, and I love how expressive and how important the book is in the story. I don't have a library here. I love libraries. I don't have a library here that's in English. There are libraries, but they're in Dutch, and I don't know those books so well. And they have some like basic classics in English, but nothing like back home. So when I get back to the States, which will be this fall, I will post some library haul picture book videos, and I hope those will be fun. I hope those will be something different, and I'll really just get to gush about illustrators that I love and stories that are beautiful and all that jazz. For me, reading has always been part of my everyday life, part of the lives of the people around me, and something that I like viscerally, imaginatively, and practically participate in. So that's me. That's how I've been reading, and that's what it was like for me growing up. Thanks for watching.